Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ATA at a descent. Mode control, both auto, descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 13 is in.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
And we're getting a picture on the TV. There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Okay, I just checked getting back up to that first step. That isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The LEM footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the LEM now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
All that we have accomplished in space, all that we may accomplish in days and years to come, we stand ready to share for the benefit of all mankind.
As we explore the reaches of space, let us go to the new worlds together, not as new worlds to be conquered, but as a new adventure to be shared.
Well, Apollo 11 is the big one. It's the one that many thousands of people in this country have been working towards for 7 years.
The big event that we've all been pointing to for so many years, I guess we all recognize is the one coming up. Apollo 11 is the one we've been practicing for.
Well, Apollo 11, our first attempt to land on the lunar surface, is of course the climax of many years of determined effort.
To some people it may be just another structure, but to me it's a thing of beauty.
The fact still is that there are many parts, and more importantly, there are many people involved.
In total, in the last hours of checking out the space vehicle leading up to launch, we have essentially a team of about 1,500 people that are working together, being coordinated, all striving to meet this point in time for successful liftoff.
It's like leading a symphony orchestra.
Did spend a fair amount of time early on in the program getting the right people in the right jobs.
I have many chores to do, and I prepare to take an active role in bringing the two vehicles together.
The fact that had considerable success in our vehicles is indicative of what we hope will follow.
Now, before the flight, we like to get things set as firmly as possible in all our procedures and then attempt to stick with them. But
we feel we are in every respect ready to go. If we've done our homework well, everything will come out right.
It's one of the phases of the mission that we have a very high confidence level in. It's nothing new. It's things that have been done before and done very well on a number of occasions, and we're quite sure that booster will go.
But there is simply the fact left that there are millions of these parts, and every single part can foul things up.
We all have a great deal of confidence now in the Saturn V, but it's still a tremendous piece of hardware to be flinging into the air.
Oh, loud and clear now, Mike, and we understand that you are docked.
Process of crew selection is rather independent of the mission.
The crew must be very good observers.
Any one of the crews has been trained to carry out a lunar landing.
One reason why test pilots make good astronauts is that they do have an ability to observe and report.
Neil Armstrong's crew happened to be at the right place at the right time. They're, contrary to most people's feelings, they're very human beings.
Well, as in any flight, the phases that give one most concern are always those which have not been done previously, things that are new.
And they have all of the feelings that go with any other human in this kind of a circumstance.
We'll be picking up where the Apollo 10 flight left off.
Call sign of the lunar module will be Eagle. Call sign of the command module will be Columbia.
Eagle, we got you now. It's looking good, over.
Roger, copy.
Eagle, Houston, after yaw around, angled S-band pitch, -9er, yaw, +18. Roger, you're a go to continue power descent. You're a go to continue power descent.
Altitude now 21,000 feet, still looking very good. Velocity down now to 1,200 feet per second.
You're looking great to us, Eagle.
Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm.
Roger, we got you. We're going at alarm.
Good radar data. We're now in the approach phase, everything looking good. Altitude 4,200.
Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Program alarm.
Altitude 1,600. 1,400 feet, still looking very good.
700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. 100 feet, down at 19. 1201. 1201.
Roger, 1201 alarm. We're go. Same type. We're go.
Altitude, velocity, light.
3.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. 60 seconds. Lights on. 6. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little. That's okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Yeah, I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
on the Moon, July 1969, BP. We came in peace for all mankind.
Tranquility Base, Houston. Guidance recommendation is pings, and you're cleared for takeoff.
Roger, understand. We're number 1 on the runway. 7, 6, 5, work stage, engine arm ascent. Beautiful. Very smooth. Very quiet ride. There's that one crater on there.
1,000 feet high, 80 feet per second vertical rise. Eagle Houston, you're looking good at 2. Ping, zags, and midspin all agree.
I'm going right down US 1.
Eagle Houston, going right down the track. Everything's great. Horizontal velocity approaching 2,500 feet per second. Roger. Some 120 miles to go until insertion.
From the early space flights, we demonstrated a potential to carry out this type of a mission. And again, it was a question of time until this would be accomplished. I think it's a technical triumph for this country to have said what it was going to do a number of years ago, and then, by golly, do it. The relative ease with which we were able to carry out our mission, which, of course, came after a very efficient and a logical sequence of flights, I think that this demonstrated that we were certainly on the right track when we took this commitment to go to the moon. I just see it as a beginning of a new age.
I felt that the country would follow through on what it committed to back at the beginning of the space age. In fact, I couldn't help but think of the fact that in the first decade, we came through on a whole list of commitments that we made in the first years of the space program. And now every one of those commitments has been met with the landing of the Apollo 11 astronauts on the moon.
We provided for the astronauts in this first mission surface experiments that are simple but very important, a seismometer and a laser beam reflector. The sensitivity of the seismometer was extremely good. Now, the real value of a seismic experiment will occur when we can get a network of them on the surface. If we're real happy that the instrument is working well and that there are events occurring, whatever they are, on the moon, they're occurring so frequently, 4 or 5 a day kind of rate, that something's going on. So, in a gross sense, the moon is not the cold, dead planet that has at least some activity of some kind.
The moon is different. It's much more active. It's a live planet in a geological sense.
The most important thing is to get sufficient data to determine the answers for the future. In other words, do we exploit the moon or forget it? But let's not continue to wonder when we do have the capability and we do have hardware that will give us a reasonable lunar exploration program.
many of us still can't believe that the goal that we set out to do in 1961 has been achieved.
In a very real sense, man has now left this planet for another planet, and we're on our way to exploring the solar system.
I think it's been a very difficult thing to convince people what man can do.
I don't think that anything we've ever done compares to the descent and landing on the moon.
Know that man has all of this capability that we thought he had all along. And it's a very gratifying thing.
I think we were extremely fortunate in the way in which the systems performed, and feel very grateful that we landed as we did.
I don't think we could call it perfection, because I think we learned some things that we have some work to do on. But
I think the fact that we landed safely made it a perfect mission in my estimation.
Some way, when those two Americans stepped on the moon, the people of this world were brought closer together. That it is that spirit, the spirit of Apollo, that America can now help to bring to our relations with other nations. The spirit of Apollo transcends geographical barriers and political differences. It can bring the people of the world together in peace.
It seemed to me that it was very clear that this was indeed an effort of all mankind, and that this certainly overshadowed any chauvinistic feeling that might have been present.
I think it's very difficult to put into words the feeling that you can have today when you see these people step out of that spacecraft and walk across that deck.
It's the kind of goal, the kind of challenge that permits people to give beyond their own capacity, and as a consequence, it has drawn out the very best of very many people. That kind of a challenge is the kind of challenge that provides for growth in a country, understanding.
I think the scientists who are involved are just having a real picnic with the rock samples, studying them and trying to probe into what are the answers to the dozens of questions that they've had to try to solve from a distance in the past. There's more to the space program than just science. It's really a combination of science, technology, application, and human adventure. And the human adventure element is an important one. It's the sort of outgoing type of activity that every people ought to have. So I look upon the space program, the exploration of the oceans and the earth, and programs of this type as huge scientific and technological exercises that our kind of country must have underway at all times, and as contributing to the spiritual drive and spiritual uplift that achieves success in the other problems.